But let's get started with the top story, and that's coming from the state of Uttar Pradesh. A lot of the action happening in Delhi as well. Mulayam Singh Yadav and his son Akhilesh Yadav appear to be in the middle of a proxy war. And standing between them is Uncle Shivpal Yadav. Shivpal Yadav appointed the president of the state unit of the party, replacing Akhilesh Yadav. Akhilesh Yadav replacing a chief secretary said to be Shivpal's appointee. And in the middle of it all, Amar Singh denying that he has anything to do with all of this, but widely believed to be the outsider that Akilesh refers to when he says outsiders are creating problems. How do we look at this family feud in Uttar Pradesh and what will be its political consequences? On the program today, Gaurav Bhatia of the Samajwadi Party is joining us. Nalin Kohli, senior leader of the BJP, is with us. And we're also joined by Sharat Pradhan, who knows Uttar Pradesh better than anybody else. So the politicians will forgive me if I start with him. Because Sharat, you have a pretty delicious column talking about a party that takes place at Amar Singh's residence, where the erstwhile chief secretary and Amar Singh do not have very good things to say about Akhilesh Yadav. And the next thing we see is that the chief secretary is out of a job. How do you see what's happening here? Is this really father versus son? Is Akilesh finally stepping out of the shadow of Mulayam Singh Yadav?
Well, it is a reflection of Akilesh at long last asserting himself. The whole problem was that Akilesh had reduced himself. He had allowed his uncles and father to dominate him in all these 4.5 years. With the result, you know, that it had become a joke in Lucknow that there are 5.5 chief ministers in UP, and of which half is Akilesh. And, you know, as far as the chief secretary is concerned, Akilesh never had any good thing about this chief secretary, who had a very shady track record. So Akilesh didn't want anybody controversial at a time when the state is going to the next poll. So that's the reason he was opposing his appointment, but he was ultimately dominated because Deepak Singhal happened to be very close to Amar Singh, as well as Shivpal Yadav, as also the principal secretary to the chief minister Anita Singh, who is an appointee of Mulayam Singh Yadav, again against the wishes of the chief minister. So, you know, there was an entire lobby working against Akilesh, and Akilesh was nearly isolated except for his uncle Ram Gopal Yadav, who stood by him.
But you know, I'm listening to you and it sounds like a virtual Mahabharata, and there's so many players in this family that it's hard to keep track for someone who doesn't know UP. But what I want to ask is, what is the political consequence of this? Akhilesh Yadav also, of course, trying a clean-up image, making it look like he's acting against corruption. Basically, as your piece says, even the chief secretary he removes, accused of having a quid pro quo with Baba Ramdev. And we'll get Nalin in on that in just a moment. But Gaurav Bhatia, what is going on?
No, Barkha, I would lay emphasis on what Mr. Shivpal Singh Yadav said in his press conference earlier during the day. He made it clear that he would like to focus on the organization, and there is no rift between him and Mr. Akhilesh Yadav, and he said the final verdict would be of Mr.
Who is going to believe that,
Can I just
Gaurav?
complete myself, Barkha?
Gaurav, sorry to
If you will give me some time, I'll give you some important inputs.
Okay.
If you won't, then, you know, it would
No, I'll always give you time. But if you're going to give me the party line and say there's no rift, who's going to believe that?
No, I'm not. I'm supposed to give you the party line. And with some honesty, I'll try to give you a party line which will be reasonable and which would be truthful also, Barkha. Okay. So, after that, Mr. Akhilesh Yadav also gave a brief interview where he also said that there are no differences between him and Shivpal ji, and there is no family rift. Now, the more important point is, we all know that Mr. Akhilesh Yadav has done a lot of development work in UP, and he has a very good image. Now, Mr. Akhilesh Yadav wants like-minded officers around him. And I remember even Sharat Pradhan ji saying that there are 4.5 and 5.5 chief ministers in the state of UP.
Yes.
But in the last 2 days, sacking the 2 ministers who were at least charged with some corruption, and then also changing the chief secretary, clearly shows that Mr. Akhilesh Yadav is taking strong decisions,
Gaurav,
and he will continue to do so.
The question actually is, who's in charge? I take your point that Akhilesh Yadav is asserting himself. He's trying to counter the criticism that there's more than one chief minister in UP. But can Akhilesh Yadav hold the party? Who wields the real power? Nalin Kohli, you're of course enjoying all this.
Can I respond to that since you asked me that question?
Let Nalin just come in briefly and I'll let you complete that. Nalin, Nalin, one of the reasons that Sharad Pradhan writes that the Chief Secretary Singhal was removed was because of allegations of a quid pro quo with Baba Ramdev of all people. How does the BJP see this entire show and drama playing out, where Gaurav will say, look, this is actually about Akhilesh cracking down on corruption?
Well, I'll tell you why I was smiling, because I will agree with only one statement of what Mr. Gaurav Bhatia said. That
Which
as a
is?
Party spokesperson, he is of course supposed to give the party line.
I know, but we push you to go
believability
beyond.
of it is a different issue.
We push you to go beyond.
That's of course, but the
That's our
believability.
job.
So let's look at this situation as it is,
Yes.
rather than how we would like to show it
Yes.
as it is. What's the problem in Uttar Pradesh? This is not a party. This was a family, at best a clan. If you look at parliament, it's only family members. Is there anyone outside the family who's in parliament? If you look at ever any news on Uttar Pradesh, is there anything beyond the family with regard to anything? And then the only other thing beyond it is no law and order. Absolutely horrendous statements from those in power or from the ruling family in terms of rape, in terms of law and order, in terms of senior ministers. So there has been no governance. Now at the end of it, whether there is a rift or not a rift, that's for the family to decide, because we are not going to start washing their linen in public.
This
It's
is
none
not
of our
a party,
business.
it's a clan.
What is of importance to the BJP?
Hang on, Nalin.
Well,
You said this is not a party, it's a clan. But the BJP also calls itself a big family. You call yourself the Sangh Parivar. So you're also a big clan.
Yes.
Parivar mein kya problem?
And how many of them are related by birth? Yes, how many of them are related by birth? Come on.
That's fair.
Give me an answer to that. This is a family related only by birth.
That is fair.
No, I mean, that's the process. So, Sangh Parivar is a Parivar of Indians.
Yes.
Not a Parivar made out of from the same, small filial affiliations in terms of uncles, aunts, chachas, chachis, taus, tayas, whatever. So now let's go back to Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh, there is no development. Law and order is a casualty. And when elections are around the corner, which is less than a year from now, you're talking about clean image, asserting yourself. Is that a favor? The whole mandate is supposed to be for governance. It's supposed to be for law and order. It's supposed to be for development. It's supposed to be beyond the family. It's supposed to be for the people. In this entire thing in Uttar Pradesh, we've never heard about the people. We haven't heard and what the people say.
Let's bring in Gaurav Bhatia here. Gaurav Bhatia, I think there's a fair point
Can I first respond and Barkha then ask me a question?
No, I'm saying I think Nalin raises a fair question and you must respond. That this is now looking like some long, family melodrama. And unfortunately, even if it's about cracking down on corruption, it's got so mired in the family melodrama that the voter, the people may not see it that way.
Yeah, now Barkha, one by one. First of all, the Sangh Parivar that Mr. Nalin Kohli was talking about does not contest elections and they are not elected representative. And therefore, it is always better that elected representatives wield power. And it is not true that the parliament only has family members from the Samajwadi Party, because my brother Nalin Kohli forgets the Rajya Sabha also. And other candidates who were fielded were not family members. Second, talking about law and order, I would like to tell Mr. Nalin Kohli, please go through the 2015 NCRB data. States like Gujarat have twice the number of crime rate. Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan have 3 times the crime rate of Uttar Pradesh. So that clearly shows the picture. UP is performing far well than other states. Third, Barkha, you were talking about who is wielding influence and power in the state. I would like to say, please understand, organization is different and government is different. Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav is the national president and he is the topmost leader of our party. Mr. Shivpal Yadav has been given the charge of state president and he will be focusing on the organizational work, which he also said. Mr. Akhilesh Yadav is the chief minister of UP and it is his duty to run the government as per the constitution. And I again reiterate that at least he is also not including any person who is even charged with corruption in his cabinet. The Allahabad High Court passed its judgment just 2 weeks back and this minister was fired. So that augurs very well for democracy. BJP couldn't do the same with Anandiben Patel.
Okay, let's bring in Nalin on that. That on law and order, on corruption,
on
unrest.
Each one sentence. One sentence. Have you ever heard in a BJP ruled state that instead of catching criminals of rape, you send them out to catch the buffaloes of a minister? I mean, the buffalo is more important in Uttar Pradesh than a human being.
No, we saw what was done to
Have you ever heard anybody say boys will be boys, so you know rape is just one of those entitled things? 1 minute, let me just finish. Let me finish one
Dalits
minute.
Dalits were beaten.
Have you ever heard of anybody saying, oh, you know, rape is rape? You know, I mean, after all, boys are boys and rape is just one of the, I mean, it's outrageous.
No, we heard a very senior leader of the
being.
BJP say
Number three,
that if a rape is committed, the woman is traumatized.
I didn't interrupt you, I know.
And otherwise, a person who's setting up an industry is raped every day.
Over me
We
because
heard
it's
that from
inconvenient
Manoj
to you.
Parikarji.
And then let's look at it. This
No,
is the
I'm reminding you.
This is the developmental
Somebody called
standard.
Nirbhaya a small.
Look, I'll tell you what we have at this
Nirbhaya a very small incident. I think you've forgotten that, Nalinji.
Have you finished?
Nirbhaya a small incident.
So now
you
coming back
that?
to the family. Mr. Bhatia, I have debated that also with you. Now may I continue making my submissions?
No,
So
I'm just reminding you, you should refresh your memory. Today's topic is different. You're trying to deviate the debate.
I am also going to come straight now on this since it's about refreshing memory. So let me go that this is actually a family serial. Now I'm going to make my one sentence, Barkha. This is not a kyunki saas bhi kabhi bahu thi. This is kabhi chacha mantri the and kabhi papa mere mukhya mantri the. This is becoming a joke of governance in Uttar Pradesh. And when the time of elections is coming, they are saying we brought in development. What a joke this is.
Okay, let's bring in Sharath. Gaurav, while you catch your breath and you both calm down. Sharath, what's at play here? You said it's about Akhilesh.
I can't be more calm than this.
Okay, hang on. Let him speak now. Sharath.
But I'd like to. Yeah. I'd like to also react on both Nalin and Gaurav's remark, where Gaurav talks about action against the minister. Let me Gayatri Prasad Prajapati, who has a huge track record of legalizing illegal mining in the state. You know, that person was removed only after the High Court rejected the government's plea to withdraw the CBI probe again ordered by the High Court. So it was a compulsion. It was a compulsion. It is no. But it was after the High Court rejected it. And
it was not a compulsion because right now only a preliminary inquiry has been ordered.
So what? But the point is that the fellow was neck deep in corruption. Now, as far as Nalin is concerned,
so is it not good, Sharadji? Is it not good?
No, that's good. That's a good step. There's no doubt about it. But that is what Akhilesh should have done months and years ago.
Back. Yeah, exactly.
The fact that now he's trying to build his image.
The judgment came 10 days ago.
No, he did it 3 days after that the minister was removed.
Sharath, hang on. Sharath, I want to come in here. Sharath, I want to come in here. 1 minute. I want to come in here. We need to look at the...
No, Nalin has very discreetly avoided your question on Ramdev.
Yes.
Nalin has very discreetly avoided that question.
I'll answer that. No,
Sharath,
not
why
discreetly.
Don't you explain the Ramdev controversy first?
Because I'm not the spokesperson
let Sharath explain the Ramdev controversy first,
and then Nalin can respond. For my party, and how am I supposed to know that you know this is some kind of deal? So now they are looking for an excuse.
Okay, ek minute, Nalin. Now, Sharath, why is Baba Ramdev in the middle of this family feud, according to you?
You know, Ramdev was 3 days back or 4 days back. Ramdev was allotted 450 acres of land along the Yamuna Expressway by the Greater Noida Authority and the Yamuna Expressway Authority to set up a huge plant, their Patanjali plant there. And the quid pro quo with Deepak Singhal allegedly is that his son-in-law and daughter, who run a couple of companies, including one pharma company based out of Meerut, the CNF of the Patanjali has been given away to them. So which is a huge quid pro quo, because the land that has been allotted is on very easy terms, which has not been done to other entrepreneurs. And this was the reason the Greater Noida Authority chairman, who was removed a few days, about less than a month back, Praveer Kumar, was removed on this ground because he refused to do this allotment. He knew of this, apparently of this shady deal.
Gaurav, do you agree that this is the reason Chief Secretary was removed? Gaurav, before I get Nalin to respond, who may well say, why do I have to answer for Baba Ramdev and some deal with the UP government? Gaurav, do you agree that this is the reason the Chief Secretary Singhal was removed? Gaurav, I'm asking you.
No. Yeah, Barkha, I'm responding. Barkha, we all know that Javed Usmani ji was a very good IAS officer and he stayed there as the Chief Secretary for pretty long. After that, Mr. Alok Ranjan also stayed for a very long tenure till he retired. Now with Mr. Deepak Singhal, all that I can tell you is that he was appointed the Chief Secretary. But this being an election year and there are a lot of big ticket projects that need to be implemented quickly, Mr. Akhilesh Yadav wanted somebody more efficient who could deliver immediately, and that is why he is now brought in a Chief Secretary who is known for his reputation and delivery. I think it is a very welcome move again. At least he is asserting himself, he is taking the right decisions, and I think that would help the Samajwadi Party to face everybody with confidence and win even more seats.
Okay, hang on. Nalin,
and Mr. Sharad Pradhan can vouch for it.
I must compliment Gaurav Bhatia.
I
must compliment Gaurav Bhatia for, as an advocate,
thank you,
using
Nalin
a correct terminology to make an extremely important statement just now. He spoke with glowing terms of the first Chief Secretary. There were good adjectives and which were positive for the second Chief Secretary. No adjectives for the third Chief Secretary who has just been removed. And then gone ahead to speak about his inefficiencies, to say that finally for the election year we need to get somebody who does some work. That is an open admission. No work was being done. And
no,
that's
that
exactly the point we are saying.
You didn't hear what I said. I said Mr. Akhilesh Yadav wanted somebody who can efficiently implement all the projects. No, that is not.
So as a Chief Minister, he took a person who was inefficient so that he could not
and you feel that person is not fully implementing or is not efficient enough, and you have a better person who can act as a replacement. Why won't you get that replacement? I think it is a decisive thinking on part of the Chief Minister. It is not like the BJP central government. It is not like the BJP central government.
The Samajwadi Party never has looked at governance.
We all
that
know
is the reality.
We all know the RSS has to send orders before they are implemented in the central
government. There you are to
government.
the RSS.
It doesn't happen
just
that
because
way
I pointed out that the Sangh Parivar is a Parivar of Indians and not a Parivar of a few family members born by birth. You are dragging them in again and again, but you are doing a favor to them. You are doing a favor because the stark contrast
Sangh
is there for all to
Parivar
see.
wields authority and power without accountability, and we object to that. What is
accountability? They are not in office. Your Chief Minister is in office with accountability.
Sangh Parivar be consulted on
Nalin, I already have a sore throat, so you have to calm down. Be kind to me. Sharad.
Is it Indians or rabid Hindus?
Arey, come on.
At least Samajwadi Party would be kind to you, Barka. I can't say the same for the BJP.
No. That's okay. Nalin will be kind to me also. You'll both be kind only to my sore throat. I don't need kindness beyond that from anybody. Now, Sharad Pradhan, the political question is, where does all this leave Akhilesh? Because, you may say he's trying to improve his image, but there is no Samajwadi Party without Mulayam and Shivpal's approval, right? So Akhilesh cannot really afford to take on his father or his uncle beyond a point. So how does this resolve itself, and what is Amar Singh's role in it?
As far as Akhilesh and his father are concerned, a couple of, the question is that up to a certain point, there has been a lot of understanding between the father and son. Certain actions have been taken with the concurrence of his father. It is not as if the whole thing has been done in defiance of the father. And the father ultimately, father has been doing the balancing act for all these years. But eventually, father has a soft corner for the son, but at the same time, he doesn't want to annoy the brother. Fact remains that the buck stops at Mulayam in the Samajwadi Party. But Akhilesh is definitely named as the inheritor of his legacy. And father wants to ensure that without causing any rift in the party. And I don't think Shivpal is capable of creating a rift in the party at this juncture because he would not be getting anything.
Yadav be removed?
So eventually
why would Shivpal Yadav be party president at this juncture? Sharad,
I'll tell you. I'll explain that to you. This was when this action had already been taken against Shivpal's appointee Deepak Singhal. Mulayam, in order to placate Shivpal Yadav, gave him this presidentship of the party, which actually means nothing. In a state where the party is in power, it is the Chief Minister who wields everything. For instance, at the national level in the BJP, Modi is certainly more powerful than Amit Shah. So, it is meaningless. It is it's only of notional value. Ultimately, it's fine that Shivpal has a lot of hold over the rank and file of the party, over the cadres. But when the cadres know that the buck stops at Akhilesh Yadav, who continues to be chief minister.
Okay.
They will ultimately, he
Barka.
will still wield much more power than Akhilesh Yadav, than Shivpal Yadav.
Okay, last comments from Gaurav and Nalin.
Last
comments from Gaurav and Nalin. Gaurav. The point is, you know, you've already given an opportunity to Nalin to say this is, you know, like a melodrama TV serial. You've even given opportunity to Rahul Gandhi to make a joke or two and say SP ka cycle puncture ho gaya. This can't be good for the party right now.
See, first for the BJP, if they feel this is a melodrama, why are they taking so much interest in it? Rather, they should be preparing in UP because they're not going to fare well. As for Rahul Gandhi calling it a joke, everybody knows which leader is a joke in Uttar Pradesh, so I don't need to respond. But one line to just put it to you, that Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav is the tallest mass leader in India, we all know that. Shivpal ji is the organization man and Akhilesh Yadav ji is the face, future Mulayam Singh Yadav of Samajwadi Party. All three are required for the forthcoming election and we will get majority again. We are very sure.
Okay, Nalin, 20 seconds. I have to close then and take a break. Nalin.
First on what Sharad ji was saying, that obviously Prime Minister Modi is the Prime Minister of India. And Amit Shah ji, as the president of the BJP, is not in any competition with the Prime Minister of the country. In any case, as far as Amit Shah ji is there, he's not a dummy candidate in where a government is all powerful. And anyone who says that he's a dummy president, I think doesn't know the BJP and doesn't understand what the scenario is. He's a perfectly in control president. And of course he calls the shots. No, I'm giving the example. You gave the example of Shivpal ji. That's why I'm pointing it out. You could have a dummy president in the Samajwadi Party, a defunct president, but you can't have that in the BJP. It doesn't.
Sharath, you want to just come in with one sentence as I close?
The second point.
Sharath?
Maybe because that's what he said.
No, Shivpal is certainly not. Shivpal can't be treated as a dummy. Shivpal has his own authority, has his own clout over the party. So he can't be. What I was trying to tell you that wherever
that is for the
party is in power, a chief minister is bound to enjoy more power.
My one sentence which is substantive. Yeah, one sentence which is substantive. Just to say that irrespective of this, look at the scenario. The focus in Uttar Pradesh should be for the voters. It shouldn't be for a family dispute. Okay. And this family melodrama has been going on through it.
Voters.
This is not what the people of Uttar Pradesh gave them a clear mandate.
Don't discuss
development
voters and tell them what development has the central government done in UP.
Tell the voters. To all three of you. Thank you, Sharad, Gaurav and Nalin.